So many people want to get rich quick, but is it always the right thing?
You can get rich and you can be a millionaire easily within 30 years. So Steve Huntley is here with us to tell us your secrets to become that millionaire. It's really just about consistency, maybe.
It is. It's about being consistent. I mean, being a millionaire, people think, I can never become one, or I never have $1 million and put it away. It's a real simple mathematical formula. I mean, if you take $75, and you know, people in my profession, they break $75 down to how many lattes that is per month, or how many cheeseburgers it is, or whatever. So if you look at it like that, it seems to be a little bit more palatable. And then you say, okay, I'm going to put it away and on average at 7%. 7% is, it's okay, it's conservative. Yeah. You put it away for 30 years. If you do the math, it becomes $1 million. It's very simple.
And it's no real estate.
So you have to give up the coffee in the morning.
You have to give up the latte, or at least once a week or whatever.
I told my kids when we were growing up, I said, pay yourself first.
Yeah.
Pay yourself first. And if you can't do that, you're living incorrectly.
That's absolutely right.
And that kind of goes with, you know, hey, maybe I don't have the money for that coffee in the morning. So, yeah.
I teach my clients to pay themselves first, because we usually get into a trap where we pay everybody else first. We get a check and everybody else gets paid, the rent, food, whatever. But if you take just this, the simple formula is to take 10%. 10% of what you earn before you give it to anybody, you give it to yourself.
And that's actually conservative, because
that's very conservative.
In the United States, we should actually be saving more, because the cost of living associated with inflation is actually astronomical when you think about it. And folks today, as we know, being in the senior industry, we're finding it very hard for people to outlive their money.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because we don't know how long we'll live, too.
Yeah, right now, and I've worked with seniors for many, many years, what the biggest fear that seniors have is running out of money, because they never believe that they would live as long as they're going to live.
Right. It's a growing trend, and the age is getting higher and higher, and it's tough. And
and those are the things that I coordinate, or my office and some of my staff work through some of those issues, and work with you too. And as far as how can we make this stretch, or what do they need? What can we possibly do without? But what's really vital to the care or support of that individual?
Right. So, I mean, I spend a lot of my days when I'm working with seniors, how can I stretch their dollar? How can I take what we already have? If you're young, you can use your youth as a weapon. Your children, I like to think of it as a weapon, because when you get older, you become more defenseless. I think the older you get, the more, especially against taxation.
And there are fewer options, too.
Yeah, you have fewer options. When you're 80 years old, you can't invest money for the next 30 years. It just can't be done. So.
Well, I'm sorry, but there's good debt and bad debt.
Right.
So why don't you explain us a little bit about that?
Debt's debt, but good debt is this. Good debt is I go out and I buy a house in Pacific Palisades for $1 million. Okay, I'm in debt $1 million, but I get equity, because the value of my house is going to continue to grow up. Plus I get some tax advantages that are amazing. Bad debt is when you're in college and they send you the MasterCard on your sophomore year, and you take that MasterCard and run out and buy a pack of gum. Yeah. Well, it's $2 or $1 for a pack of gum. But it's charging you 25% interest, which you never pay off. It's considerable amount of money. So that's kind of bad debt. You have to reduce your bad debt.
All right.
So how about in middle age too? If you know, we have health catastrophes and we have divorce and different situations that may minimize what you had saved. So what are some maybe options to kind of fast track back up to that 30-year program again? Okay,
first of all, you go back to paying yourself first. Second of all, you have a plan that's flexible. When you do, like I've been doing financial plans for 24 years now. You have to create flexibility into it. You have to be able to say, okay, things happen in people's lives. You have to have some emergency money, that type of thing. You also have to look at where you may have made mistakes in the past. You know, your cousin came to you and said, man, you should put all your money in MySpace stock, and the MySpace stock just went, you know. I'm not saying it's bad or good. I'm just saying things like that happen.
Right.
And the other thing is
your mistakes.
take the emotion out of it. Take the emotion out of it.
Excellent.
That's great.
Steve Huntley, thank you very much for being
Thank you.
on with us today and showing us how we can become millionaires.
Going to have you back and talk more on this.
Absolutely.
I love
Happy to.
talking about this subject.
Absolutely.
That's great. So coming up next, milkshakes, can they be healthy?
Yeah, because she has extra protein that she puts in them.
No milk.
I know, exactly. Cynthia Udias from Arbonne will join us.